Well, good evening everybody and welcome. Coming to you live from Monza. It's round 5 of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship from none other than the Cathedral of Speed, Monza. I think I've already mentioned that, but before we go any further, Brad Maris is with me as always. Brad, take it away.
Well, I'm here. I'm not sure what else to take away except that it's going to be a damn good race tonight, like it usually is here at Monza. The times on this very long track actually will be very close. As always, it's going to really come down to who makes mistakes in this race. That'll determine the eventual winner. So, tire economy around here, very good. Fuel economy, not too bad either. So, it's going to be an exciting race on strategy as well as the competition with the speed on track.
Hang on 1 second. About the circuit, Brad, while take care of something.
Say again, Al?
Got the track map. We're moving over to qualifying 1 right now. Sorry, a little bit of confusion here. Just getting some guys laid out here. Stand by. Alright, sorry, some housekeeping to do here, Brad. Sometimes you gotta multitask, you know what I mean? So, okay, here we back. So, Chris Moses leading the way there in the practice session. We got him in the booth with us right now. Moses, how's the track? I know you're on your out lap here. How's the car feeling tonight as you head into qualifying?
It's fast, Al. No problem with braking, and it's a little unpredictable coming off the curves on corner exit. But other than that, she's fast, but a little hairy.
Conditions okay for you right now?
Perfect for this car right now. I mean, want a little bit of heat in the track.
Good luck.
Thanks, Al.
Well, Chris Moses in for Esteban Palacio this evening. Brad, he was certainly on a tear. Alex White, not too far behind. White carrying a bit of success ballast here tonight, Brad. 40 kilograms for winning. I think he won. Yeah, he won last week, right? Oh no, he didn't. But he still had weight from the previous event. So David Poole took the win last week, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, Alex White still suffering 40 kilograms of weight ballast, success ballast, even after a rather dismal result for Alex White, one of the worst races we've seen him have. Now, it was only kind of worsened, that race, I would say, by Chris Moses, actually, in a fill-in role for Andres Prieto. He had some weight in that race in a car that did not perform well, so I think Chris Moses is looking for a little bit of revenge here tonight. He does not have that weight penalty ballast, so he should be good to go for this race, and he is quite the master around this place. We'll see how it shakes out for him over the course of the distance, the event distance.
Yeah, on board right now, we're taking a look at Alex White. White certainly no slouch here in this car. He's driving the Aston Martin. Pretty much sure bet between that car, the competition coupe, which we'll keep an eye on, and maybe a couple others. But this is going to be a strong car here, even with the weight, Brad.
Yeah, well, no question about it. And as you say, Alex White no slouch, so he certainly can manage his success ballast without too much problem. We've seen in previous seasons. Chris Moses actually just had an off in turn 1, so he'll have to reset. But you know, it's going to be very difficult, I think, to outlast Alex White here in that car, particularly if that Chris Moses Audi does run into problems.
Taking a look at the temperature here, 85 degree ambient, 104 degree track temp. Alex White about to close out these.
Yeah, we mentioned last week's race a little bit. We may do so even a bit more here, but that was a very impressive win by David Poole, pulling away essentially from all but Marty Urin, who couldn't quite match his pace, but big congratulations to David Poole on his win last week.
Yeah, those two guys certainly put on a good show. White about to go into Parabolica now. About to drop his opening salvo here in qualifying. Let's see where he ends up. A 147.4. I don't know if that's going to get it done. Ian Jolicoeur right now, currently, I tell you what, Ian has been showing some good pace, making a lot of the races this season in GT2. Currently at P2. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jolicoeur.
Yeah, well, and I think the rumor is that he will have the opportunity to make a few races the rest of the way coming home. Now, I did have a few points I wanted to make when we do update our viewers on that point situation a little bit, but Ian Jolicoeur may yet factor into this by the end of our Season 23 championship.
Ian currently trailing one of the Audis. I believe that might be Monahan, not sure. But if anything, he's giving him the lights. But if anything, this is going to help out Ian. Going to get a bit of a toll. Through Parabolica. To the stripe. Ooh. Just misses out on pole by just under 0.2 of a second. Ooh, Jaime Moore jumped up to the top of the timesheets with a 1:47.1. So Jaime looking quite racy here tonight, Brad.
Jaime is looking racy, and his teammate in disguise, Andrew Warner, which is actually Andres Prieto tonight. Now, he did lose a little bit of weight, if I'm not mistaken, for that Chris Moses substitution and his result in that event last week. So Andres Prieto, kind of in a good weight situation, a very fast driver, of course, and in a good car for the track as well. I suspect all these guys can go just a little bit faster, in particular Alex White, Chris Moses, and even Aaron Parsons, I think. The times are going to drop.
Take a look at Andres Prieto. Prieto currently 5th on and out laps. Take a look further down the road. Dan Wilkerson, this is a guy we're definitely going to keep an eye on here. This competition coupe is could play a big factor here tonight. This car is almost too good to not be there at the end. It's a rocket down the straights.
Yeah, it sure is. Of course, unfortunately, Dan Wilkerson, did not have the best of events here, the last couple events, Osterschleiben and Birmingham, both not quite getting the kind of points he had gotten the first couple events of the season. But you're absolutely right. That Viper actually will retain its handling pretty well throughout the course of the event also. So it's going to be a car to watch by the end of this thing.
Looking further back, David Poole, currently 7th. Last week's winner, Felipe Triana, in 8th. Testing the limits of the track. Juan Monroy, currently in 9th, on board with Juan. Pretty decent run last week from his teammate Rodrigo Triana. But Monroy not too bad of a run showing last week for himself either.
No, not too bad, but Juan Monroy really desperately looking for some decent point results here. He has not got off to nearly the type of start that he had last season, so really looking for some redemption here tonight, I would think.
Well, these Ford GT should be fairly strong here. You know, Brad, we didn't really talk about this. We're only in qualifying, but strategy could... strategy's going to be big here tonight. The tire situation... known for a track where a lot of guys can't double stint. So I think track position is really going to be important here in qualifying. I think a majority of these guys may end up double stinting.
Yeah, no question about it. Now, the cars that are going to have a tough time here are cars like the one that David Poole is in that Gumpert. So cars that kind of are biased towards having some rear heat and tire issues, and the Chris Moses Audi, it should be mentioned as well. Those guys could suffer a little bit of trouble if they do double stint those rear tires. So an interesting strategy employed sometimes, mainly in GT1 around here, is to base a setup on just double stinting the front tires and taking rears. We'll have to see if any of these guys do that.
So Monroy jumps to 5th, so nice job by him. Meanwhile, Alex White has jumped to the top of the timesheets. Breto 7th. Wilkinson's dipped back down to 7th. Sorry, someone else looks like Wilkinson's now in 7th. Poole back to 8th. Triana in 9th. Further back, Marty Uren carrying a bit of success ballast here tonight. Nice slide there. Is he going to hang on to it? He does. Currently running in 10th. So good showing by Marty. Nice to see. Further back, Mike Trussell having a good performance here early on in qualifying. Currently 11th.
Indeed, and Mike Trussler putting in very nice points finishes here the last couple of races. So Mike Trussler on the upswing.
Tonight. So yeah, we talked to Mike a couple weeks ago. He was just dying to get some points, and since then he's been scoring points in the last 2 events. So good on Mike. Jonathan Cup at 12th. Houston 13th. Great Tricks back there in 14th. Not a bad start for him tonight. A little surprised to see Matt Taylor this far back in that Aston. I don't know if he's just has had a hard time putting the lap together, but I suspect Matt will be further up the grid by the end of tonight.
Yeah, I would think so, Al. Now, Chris Moses has just completed a lap, barely off of Alex White's provisional pole time. I watched that lap. It was pretty shaky, so I think Chris Moses does have a few more tenths in it.
Matt Taylor way off there in Sector 2. Halili taking it off. He's currently in 18th. Greg Myers back in 19th. Looks like Greg's just recovering from it off himself.
Hello.
Okay, sorry. Hopefully I didn't have you guys on mute. Alright, so Greg Myers recovering from an off here. He's back in 19th. Jesse Caldani back in 20th. Had a pretty decent showing his first night. First night on track last week.
Boy, sure did. Really harassing those guys in the top 5. Eventually fell back to 9th, but nonetheless, a great showing for his opening event of season 23.
Johnny Lugnut's there back in 21st. Kurt Chandler running in 22nd in that Ferrari. Ooh, someone's just taking it off. Ryan Story running in 24th. Team Broadcast, Ken Rodriguez currently in 25th in the Z4. Followed by Liquid Lou Mascarelli. Let's see where Lou ends up here. Exited Parabolica in the Corvette. That's my paying homage to Rick Chapman, the Corvette. Okay, Connor Swain back here tonight. racing in GTR2 after incredibly long layoff. He's currently running in 27th. It's good to see Connor back.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll return his, get back his NAGP sea legs, as it were. Might take him a race or two.
John Wapping currently in 20th. I'm sorry, 30th. It looked like he's put it. He's 2.5 seconds off in sector 2. So it's like John's got his hands full tonight with that Mustang. And that's our running order right now. Alex White. Let's go back to the front here. Alex White currently on provisional pole with a 6:46.9. He's off pace. Chris Moses is about to start a lap. Jaime Moore is on an out lap. Parsons has jumped up. Well, I was just going to say Parsons has jumped up to 4th. But he's dropped down to 5th as Juan Mon right now has moved up to 3rd.
Yeah, it's really Alex White doing his damage there in the first sector. Chris Moses, well, first and second sector. Chris Moses a good half second off through that second sector, so I suspect Chris Moses, some of these other guys, can pick up some time in that sector, creep closer to Alex White, though the times are very close toward the top at the moment.
We got our eyes on Felipe Triana. I was watching him in practice. He was looking pretty good there in that Audi. Right along on board with him. Notice Rodrigo Triana not here tonight. It's unfortunate. Oh, he's in vent. Perhaps I just... No, he is here. He's currently 12th. Sorry. Rigo with the great 3rd place finish last week.
So now just 10 minutes left to go in this qualifying period, and at almost 2 minutes a lap around here, 1:45 or so, these guys are not going to get too many more opportunities, and I've seen a lot of guys run into some trouble out there with lap traffic or having some offs. They're going to have to get some clean laps in here if they expect to best their rivals.
Got our eye on Triana here. Let's see where he ends up as he exits Parabolica. Should be a pretty decent lap. He might be able to improve. Nope. Joey Gore, bit of a bobble there. He's not going to make up any ground on this lap. Jaime Moore on board with him as he goes through Parabolica. Ooh, looks like he's going to get a little help from his teammate. Doing the draft game tonight.
You know, that can have benefits here at this track. It's very tough to coordinate, but it can be of pretty good effect, really, to the tune of a couple 3/10.
No improvement for Jaime. Ooh, hard on the brakes. Alex White, just over 2/10 off in that second sector. Ends up here. No improvement. Moses on an out lap. Juan Monroy now trying to improve on his provisional 3rd place starter, but he's only a couple. Oh, it's about a 10th off pole right now. His best time's a 47 flat. He's got some traffic up ahead of him. It looks like one of the Team TFS boys. Ooh. As Monroy leaves his braking a bit late. Ooh, Moses has an issue as well.
Yeah, and I know that he has...
5th. Sorry, go ahead, Brad.
I know Moses has time in that thing, so he's still looking for a good lap. And I was just going to mention Marty Uren as well. Marty Uren having a very fine performance here in that Mercedes. Should be a good performer around here, particularly carrying that success ballast from his 2nd place finish last week.
Parsons Well, Parsons going to start a lap now. He's a bit off the pace as he ends this lap. Parsons currently running in 6th. He's carrying some ballast here tonight as well. He's got 20 kilograms. Exiting the pit lane, currently 7th. Let's see if anybody's able to improve. Prato in 9th. Dan Wilkerson running in 10th. David Poole has fallen back to 11th, last week's winner. He's about to close out a lap. Let's see where he ends up here. Just over 6 minutes to go in qualifying.
Yeah, it'll be 2 timed laps if you get out right now, and that's going to be it.
Poole improves to 9th, so he'll have a top 10 finish. That drops Prato back to 10th. Rodrigo Triana languishing back in 12th. Bit of a bobble there through the Lesmos. John Houston back in 13th, so a lot of these guys on their outlap. Mike Trussler in 14th. Looking for his teammate Alex Scott. Do not see him on the server.
Yeah, I don't think he's in at the moment, Al.
So Trussler just 0.8 off in that second split. Really not that far off.
No, that's very good.
Yeah, let's see what he's able to do here at the end. Trussler, will he improve? Nope. He lost a lot of time there at the end. So Matt Taylor's jumped up to 15th. Up now in 16th. Running down the order real quick. Braytrick 17th. Caldani back in 18th. Exiting the pits. Rick Myers in 19th. A little surprised to see Halili back in 20th. He's really got his hands full tonight in that Porsche. Kurt Chandler 21st. Lucknut's back in 22nd. Kevin Miller 23rd. Further back, Watson has jumped up to 24th. Mascarelli 25th as these guys are racing here in qualifying. Lockman takes it off. Rodriguez back at 22nd. I do not see Jack Ivey either. Brian Story 27th. Connor Swain back in 28th. Missing a few guys here tonight, Brad.
Yeah, and I was going to mention Jack Ivey myself. I noticed that a little earlier. We did have a viewer chime in. I guess Alex Scott was looking for a substitute tonight. So Alex Scott looks like he will be missing this event. And that's a tough break for that team, as those guys are looking pretty strong here of late.
Certainly have been. White on an outlap. Moses is elected to go out here late. Monroy, unable to improve, remains in 3rd. Parsons has jumped up to 4th. Jaime Moore now has dropped back to 5th. A lot of these guys on outlaps. Ian Jolicoeur. He should be able to get another one in here. He's got enough fuel to do it.
Well, this is going to be pretty tense the last couple laps. Chris Moses made yet another mistake. He is going to have one more opportunity here, so it's going to be nervy time for here. But I think Alex White also will have a bit more time in it. Aaron Parsons has improved his time, as noted, so it's going to be quite a shootout here, I think, for the last lap or two.
So no improvement for Jolicoeur. He's going to try again. As Prato, I should mention Andre is, you see the name Andrew Warner, but Andre is actually, lives in Chile. He's from Colombia, lives in Chile, and is in California, I believe, competing in a karting competition, national event. And he is at the home of Andrew Warner, racing on his rig. And Andrew is a regular GT1 competitor with David Poole, 5 Motorsports. So that's cool to see.
It really is, and Andres being the competitor and racer that he is, I suspect that he will continue to get that new rig figured out as the race goes along here and continue to improve his time.
So it looks like he's going to try and get a tow off it's either Triana or Monroy. So we got a couple minutes left. Let's check the front runners here. White's just 1300ths off in the second sector. Moses has parked it. He's done.
Yeah, another braking mistake in one for Chris Moses, so no better than second on this grid. I know that's going to be disappointing, but I think a lot for Chris Moses as well going into this race and just what that Audi's going to do underneath him.
I'll tell you what, if I'm not mistaken, Chris drove that car last season, right? So he won at Spa as White improves. I think he actually ran the same exact time.
It was just off his best time, Al, by about 4/100ths.
Let's see what Monroy can do here. We got a minute left.
I think a few guys still have a shot here for this pole as the final lap has begun for these guys.
Monroy 2/10 off in sector 1. Take a look further back. Parsons just starting a lap. Monroy on the run down to Variante Alta. Is that right? Ascari, sorry. Oh, yeah, wrong track. That's Imola.
Alex White off his time in the second sector. He is going to do no better than a 146.9, Al.
See what Monroy does here. Parsons right behind him. Check the flags are out. No improvement. Parsons here. Through Ascari. Ooh, he's off the pace. He's not going to make that time up. Cholacour to third. Wow. Great job by Ian. We'll start on row 2. Dropping Monroy back to 4th. Kalani to 18th there at the end. That's going to do it.
Wow. So yeah, you'd have to say it was a narrow escape for Alex White. Congratulations to him on another pole this season. Chris Moses, also nice job there into the 46s. I think he would have liked to have had a little bit more, but there were some fireworks late. Ian Jolicoeur popping that 147 flat will dismay Juan Monroy and Aaron Parsons a little bit. Great effort. The top 7 guys covered by only 0.3 of a second, Al. Close stuff.
Marty, do you copy?
Yes, I do, Al.
It's Alan Brad here in the broadcast booth. Pretty nice qualifying for yourself, even with that success ballast. How's the Mercedes feeling around here? Ian, not too bad of a job getting it up there in third there late.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I was ahead of him there until right toward the end. He finally got it together. So yeah, we're in a good position. It's Mercedes is it's got good potential. It's got nice characteristics, no major flaws. It's just a matter of driving it well.
Yeah, well, congratulations there on your 7th place start, excuse me, Marty. But yeah, as always here at Monza, there's some strategy options that you have. Now, a lot of guys have the possibility of double stinting those tires around this place. Any strategy suggestions you guys have tonight? You plan on doing anything?
Well, double stinting has been common here. If the car isn't too hard on the tires and the conditions aren't too harsh, it's usually a good way to go.
good luck, Marty, tonight. It's the second half of the season starts tonight. Looking forward to Kung Fu Racing making a push here for the team championship. As you guys have had a couple good races in a row. Good luck.
I appreciate that, Al. Yeah, we're looking to pull it together. Ian's got more plans on running more races, and I think we'll be able to scoop enough points out to be in the hunt.
Let's hope so. Good luck, Marty. We'll be keeping our eye on you. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate.
There you have it. Marty liking that Mercedes here tonight. I'll tell you what, Brad, I really enjoy Monza. This is one of my personal favorites. So I'm looking forward. Kind of jealous I'm not out there racing tonight, but there'll be other opportunities, I'm sure. Now,
well, I know that you were in talks with a team or two. Couldn't quite make that deal at the last second, Al, so I'm sorry about that. But as always, it's very nice to have you here in the booth.
I appreciate that, Brad. So while we got some time here, we're going to take a quick look at the driver standings here. So 1 point separating Alex White and Parsons in GT2. Alex White with 71, Parsons in 70 with 70. Prato back in third with 47. Quite a gap between the top two, and then Prato back in third. But Prato missing a race really hurt him in the standings. David Poole with that win last week moved him up to 45 points to fourth, and Joe LaCour in fifth with 44 points. In the team championship, T-Brock Dam Bam currently leading with 110. Axis of Awesome, that's Alex White and Matt Taylor in second with 95. And Kung Fu Racing, we just talked to Marty, one half of Kung Fu Racing, in third with 83 points. So, you gotta. They're a threat. They've won several team championships here in GT2. We're gonna have to keep our eye on them. Team Columbia Nui's in fourth. That's Prato and Rodrigo Triana. I'm sorry, Jaime Moore. And Team Columbia Vintage in fifth with Monroy and Rodrigo. So.
Yeah, an interesting classification those team points at the moment. So we've seen those standings kind of fluctuate wildly as the season has gone on. Both those cars earn all the points that they get in that toward that team championship. So that swings wildly, and all those teams are still in it.
Well, as we take a look here at the warm-up track conditions, not looking too good. It's damp and conditions calling for rain. Let's see how this is going to translate into the race. I know it probably may wash away the groove here, so it may catch some guys out. I want to take a look real quick. Season 21, last time we raced here. It's actually part... no, I take that back. Yep, season 21, Monday. August 26, 2013. It's the last time we raced here, nearly a year ago. Aaron Parsons taking the win in the Audi R8. Race went 29 laps. We expect the same here tonight, unless it rains. Fast lap of the race was a 47.9. Whole time was a 47 flat. That was set by Chris Moses in the Mercedes. So really not bit of slight improvement there on qualifying laps, but really not that significant of a difference here between now and 2 seasons ago.
So many laps.
What's that?
There's so many laps that we put down on some of these tracks, Al. Monza and Spa being a couple of them, that those times do tend to compress quite a bit. It gets harder and harder to turn those fast laps. So I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that it's getting a little bit more difficult and having to do, the margin are getting smaller and smaller. You know what I'm saying.
I do. I completely understand what you're saying. But, sometimes you go to these tracks where you've run before and guys are like second up. It's like, how do they do it? But somehow they're able to get some more speed out of these cars, as these guys really look like they're struggling here in the warm-up here, trying to get some warm-up laps done as in practice their pit stops. So we talked about... Go ahead.
I was going to say, we have run here quite a bit. The chance of rain is about average, and we have hit about that mark, I would say. About half the races have had some type of weather conditions moving in across the track, so it's not out of the question here at all.
No, I mean, last season in GT1 we ran here, it started off dry, and then the weather came. So yeah, it's not unusual to see some moisture here at Monza. So we got about a minute and a half to go here. Give me 1 second, Brad. I'll be right back.
Yep. Don't know exactly how long Al will be gone. Probably not very long, but I'll give you a quick update. Hear that you are watching NAGP TV. If you get the opportunity, go ahead and click that follow button if you haven't yet. That'll give you some updates as to when NAGP TV goes live. Keep abreast of all the live racing action here at NAGP. So Al does also make a good point with the groove being washed away just a little bit here. There will be a little less grip out there as these drivers start their race. And always an adventurous time here into turn 1 at Monza, so perhaps a little less grip added on top of the hectic starts here going into the first chicane could end up with a few extra fireworks here at the start.
I am back, Brad. Thank you. I just wanted to mention really quickly, if you are on the website following, watching this race, or just click on the GT2 live timing button there at the top. You can keep an eye on the live timing here for tonight's race. Or if you're watching the race on Twitch, just click on the banner at the bottom. It should bring you to the live timing here tonight. So warm-up completed. And looks like we have 30 drivers set to take the grid here tonight.
Yeah, we're missing a few, and of course we saw Sebastian Betancourt that was in for a while. He left or dropped or something, did not rejoin in that qualifying 2 period. So no Sebastian Betancourt here tonight.
Well, Brad, run down into turn 1 here. Ritafilo is going to be interesting. 80-degree currently track temperature as we've moved over to the race. 72-degree ambient conditions calling for rain. So it is not presently raining. However, it does not look good. I don't think I hear rain.
Well, it's interesting nonetheless. The temperature just has gone up 1 degree, so that could be an indication of possibly that rain moving out of the area. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, typically when the track temp starts to go up, the chance of rain kind of drops slightly.
Indeed. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and give you a quick field rundown.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Starting from pole, Alex White, followed by Chris Moses in second, Joe LaCour third, Juan Monroy fourth, and Aaron Parsons in fifth.
Moore in 6th, Uren in 7th, Werner/Prieto in 8th, Triana in 9th, Poole 10th.
Wilkerson 11th, Triana 12th, John Houston 13th, Mike Trussell 14th, Matt Taylor 15th.
Cuppet 16th, Greetrek 17th, Caldani 18th, Myers 19th, Halili 20th.
Kurt Chandler 21st, Lugnutz 22nd, Miller 23rd, Wathen 24th, Rodriguez starts 25th.
Mascarelli 26th, Story 27th, Swain takes 28th, Monahan 29th, and Salem Montgomery Jr. round at the field in 30th.
Brad, well, we're going to have to keep an eye on Moses here at the start. Really had some dynamite starts with that Audi last season, so potentially look for him to take advantage of White here at the start going into turn 1. He may have enough to get it done here as we're about to go green from Monza, round 5, GT2. Really nice start by White. Moses not too shabby of a start himself, but White really getting a nice hole shot. Joe LaCour putting the squeeze job on Monroy heading into 1, but backs out of it. Looking pretty clean going through the first chicane. Wow, White really taking, getting a good run there. The field runs down here through Curva Grande. Triana, a bit of a bobble there. Prato looking to take advantage. Sounds like we had a bit of an incident going into that last chicane through the Lesmos. Joe LaCour really putting the heat on Moses here. See if he gets a run on him into a Skyrim. Ooh, Moses with a bit of a bobble. Don't believe there was contact there. Joe LaCour is going to be on the inside going into Parabolica. I'll tell you what, that Audi's really got a lot of power down the straights here. Moses is going to hang on to that position.
Yeah, if Moses wants a
Ooh,
shot
Moses
at this win,
taking it wide, exiting Parabolica. Very unusual for Moses to do something like that. Wow, he's going to drop down the order now. Triana getting a run on Marty heading into turn 1. Gonna have a look on the inside. Side by side. Looks like Triana's gonna get it done. A little tap there from Uran, but nice pass by Felipe. Up to 4th. Moses shuffled back into 8th now, as Prato just ahead of him, followed by Prato's teammate, Jaime Moore.
Al, I just noticed that Baron Parsons is in 29th.
So, did not see what happened to Parsons.
No.
Trussell has moved up to 13. Cuppet now, and his teammate Wilkerson 14th and 15th. Expect those guys to make up some ground through the field here down these straights. Walton now up to 16th. Myers in 17th. Chandler and Montgomery Jr. Montgomery Jr. on the inside of Chandler. Aldani right behind him. They head into Parabolica. Mikey Monahan back in 21st. Miller running in 22nd, Halili 23rd, Rodriguez, Greatrix, Mascarelli, and Parsons. You mentioned Parsons, he's moved up to 27th, but he is way back, mired back in the field. He's going to try and
now this is pretty big.
Go ahead.
This is pretty big news, really, for Aaron Parsons. Now, Aaron Parsons second in this championship, just one off of Alex White's pace here for that championship. So, Aaron Parsons, a lot of work to do to recover points here.
It's the pass made on Lou. Story back at 29th and Swain back in 30th. So back out front, it is White followed by Jolicoeur and Monroy in third. Uren and Triana. Triana's made the move on Uren, however, he's not been able to gap Marty since making that pass. On board with Marty into Ascari. Bit of a bobble there for Marty. Moses has made the move on Preto for 7th, so Moses looks like he's back on it. Let's see what Marty can do here through Parabolica if he's able to get a run on Triana down the straight. Doesn't appear that he'll get close enough to get it done.
Yeah, as you watch that battle, I'll give you a quick update here. The track temperature does continue to climb a little bit, as well as the ambient temperature, so that could be an indication that the track will stay dry here, at least in the short term.
So race tonight scheduled for 29 laps, or 1 hour, whichever comes first. Battle between Preto and Moses. Preto had a look on the outside of Moses, Curva Grande, but thought better of it. Take a look further back. Trussell's now up to 13th. Meanwhile, Wilkerson, the two Aim High Racing boys, running 14th and 15th in those Vipers, respectively.
Yeah, drivers have settled down a little bit here. They're beginning to just kind of focus on getting on with the task at hand, but close battles all over this track at the moment.
I'll go with Wilkerson through Ascari. Now on board with Couple. Let's see what he can do with Trussell here down the straight. Gets a good exit out of Parabolica. He should be able to power down and make the move on Trussell.
Yeah, that's key, particularly these Vipers. Not a lot of front end grip on those Vipers through here.
Should see him close the gap now. There it is. Gets close enough. Taking a look on the inside. He's not able to get it done. That Taylor has improved now. He's up to 9th. Rodrigo Triana trying to hang on to the back of Taylor there. Excuse me. Jesse Cal, oh, I believe that's David Poole actually on the inside of John Houston. Yeah, that is Poole. He gets it done. Nice pass by David. A tough place to get it done at. Into the Lesmos. On board with Trussell. Good battle here for mid-pack, 11th through 16th.
Well, it's a great battle. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat checking out all these battles now. It's very difficult around this place, particularly if you're battling somebody to stay really super consistent. So we do tend to see these gaps kind of come and go here depending on lap-to-lap action, but very close stuff.
Cuppet now with a run on Trussell heading into Parabolica. Can't get it done here if you keep it tidy. Looks like Cuppet's going to do it. Wow, great job by Jonathan. Very nice.
Yeah, Tressler was kind of inclined to give a little bit of room there, so didn't have too much of a choice. He will get a draft. Will it be enough over the Viper, though, going into one?
That's a very nice job, actually. Ooh, as one of the Audis goes off, it looks like that might have been Moses and, yeah, Prato. So Moses now falling back to 9th. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know if we saw the writing on the wall, but Chris Moses obviously struggling mightily there in that qualifying period with the Audi, so we'll see if he can get it sorted.
Wilkerson now has made the move on Cuppet, so Cuppet now has fallen, I'm sorry, Trussell, so Trussell's fallen back to 15th. Meanwhile, Cuppet tried to take advantage of that mistake or incident between Moses and Prato. Unable to get it done. Now Prato all over the back of David Poole. Heading into Wascari. Side by side, a little bit of contact. Poole giving Prato the business. Didn't like that one bit.
Well, there's not much for it. You're down a position, so just better get on with the task at hand at this point.
Now Cuppet's going to take advantage now and move up to 12th. That's going to drop Poole down to 13th.
Well, Wilkerson's not going to be too far off his bumper with a huge draft in that competition coupe Viper as well.
That's the last thing Poole wants to see in front of him and behind him. It's a comfort sandwich. Look at that speed of the Viper down the straight. I think Wilkerson, I think he could have got it done there. Up. Showed a little bit of discretion.
Quite a few laps. Yeah, quite a few laps yet to run here, Al, so I think discretion at this point is the better part of valor. Boy, little mistakes so costly at this track when the guys around you are driving so fast, have such big speed momentum built up.
Well, Rodrigo Triana has gotten past Matt Taylor, so these two guys have been benefited by those offs by Moses and Prato. Marty Uren now has gotten passed by Jaime Moore. Jaime Moore now up to 5th. And Felipe Triana now closing the gap on Juan Monroy for 3rd.
Yeah, and as you watch that action, I'll give you a quick update at the front. Ian Jolicoeur has started to make a few little inroads on Alex White here and there, so Ian Jolicoeur not giving anything up, perhaps gaining back a little bit of ground. Now about 2 seconds off of Alex White.
Yeah, not far off at all, so great to see Ian putting the pressure on Alex. I'll tell you what, Felipe Triana, last couple races, has been showing some signs of improvement here. Has been rather competitive. And I know he's been the recipient of some pretty harsh penalties here in GT2, but I think he's hopefully gotten the message and gotten down to the business of racing clean, and it looks like he's doing that, and man, it's starting to pay off because he's one spot off a podium position as we run right now. I know it's early, but still good to see.
Yeah, and I think that Team Columbia vintage team is starting to get that Ford figured out here a little bit as well, so that is also helping.
But with Marty, still unable to make any headway here on Jaime Moore. Big slide by Jaime. See just up there in the distance that Felipe, Triana, and Monroy battle. I think it's just a matter of time there for Monroy before Felipe tries to make a run, get a run on him.
Yeah, and I don't know that Felipe Triana, I don't know if he has the pace of Alex White and Ian Jolicoeur if he does happen to get past Juan, but I'm kind of curious to see if he can't start to match those times.
Really nice exit out of Parabolica. This may be his opportunity. Have a look on the inside. Nope. It's not close enough.
Both the Ford and the Audi really pretty similar straight line speed possibilities depending on their aerodynamic setup.
Take a quick look at the gaps now. Yeah, dead even 2 seconds. Track temp has gone up to 88 degrees. Ambient's gone up slightly as well. So threat of rain might be dissipating here. Ooh,
Yeah,
big
odd. I would have
mistake by
figured
Moore.
actually.
That's going to give Monroy Uran an opportunity, and he's going to make the pass. So, wow, a little bit of a bobble there as a side by side through the Lesmos. Wow.
Yeah, to be careful here, Marty. Well, both these guys actually.
Yeah.
That's a tricky spot on the
That
outside of
is very
Lesmo
tricky,
too. That
but
was.
I tell you, great job by both those guys. Keeping it off each other. Wow, nice recovery from Moore.
This is a tough place to get it done. I think Marty will be able to force the issue here. I don't know if it's a good idea. Maybe he won't.
Just not close enough. Let's take a look further back. Triana and Moses. Moses now up to 7th. Triana right behind him, so Moses making the pass on them. On Triana and Taylor. Preto now in 10th. John Houston has worked his way up to 11th, and there come those Viper competition coupes now. Cuppet really laying it down here. A little surprised Wilkerson hasn't been able to make that pass on Poole. Poole running in 13th. Wilkerson remains behind David. Meanwhile, Trussler still running in the points, and Greg Myers in the final points paying position. Montgomery Jr. running in 17th. Parsons now, after falling back to, what was it, 29th, now finds himself 2 spots out of the points. So far a good recovery for him. Caldani finds himself 19th, while Monahan, a little surprised, hasn't been able to make up any ground, running in 20th. We got Halili, Miller, Rodriguez, and it has begun to rain. Kurt Chandler running 24th. Lugnut's 25th. Let's take a look at the Mascarelli in the pits. So, interesting. Track still dry. It has started raining. And you can already see as Jolicoeur has started to close up on White. That gap is now under 2 seconds. However, it has started to rain. So keep an eye on those track conditions. Still dry. Go ahead, Brad.
Ian had got it to within about a second and a half, made a small mistake, gave up that half second, but now has regained it. I think Alex White is beginning to struggle a little bit. I think maybe he went a little aggressive on the setup, so beginning to slide. But it is going to be an interesting choice for these guys. If it continues to rain, the track gets wet, just when to come in and what to do. These guys are running very low downforce setups, so these cars will begin to slide around, and this place does get damp rather quickly when it does begin to rain.
Currently working lap 11. Ooh, as Triana with a bit of a slide, who has now jumped up to 3rd. So he has made the pass on Monroy, so Triana podium position as we run them. Monroy Moore, followed by Marty, and Moses now back in 7th.
Yeah, it's really that 13th position right now that I've been keeping my eye on a little bit, and that is David Poole. So David Poole, very good usually at just keeping the thing on track and picking up spots through attrition, but you know what? These guys have not given him many opportunities to take advantage of attrition tonight. So David Poole kind of mired in 13th at the moment.
Track has gone to damp. Ooh, big lurch from Houston. These guys are going to start struggling a bit. You're probably going to start seeing some offs as the rain continues to fall here at Monza. Ooh, one of the vets nearly gets into Moses here. That was a close call. Wathen is out, suspension failure, lap 3. That was a question from the chat. Question was Wathen out yet?
Yes, unfortunate to see that. So, big decisions for these guys here. If they do come in and it stops raining, they have given up a ton of ground. Now, we have seen some big swings of position changes happen in this race just due to that. So, in some ways, you got to get a little bit lucky and make the right choice. Very interesting to see what's going to happen here with these weather conditions.
Well, this Marty now in 6th. 6th through 3rd right now, very close to one another.
Yeah, and still battles all the way through the field, all the way down to 20th. And a nice battle over 24th at the moment.
Ooh, Jaime Moore taking it a bit wide. Here's Moses lurking closely behind in the background there. So he's found his groove here in these tricky conditions.
Well, the Moses experience is going to go a long way. I don't know if the Audi performance will go as far.
Jaime Moore having a look on the inside of Monroy. Wow, what a bold pass here in the wet. Gets it done. Very nice to see. So Moore now jumps up to 4th. Let's see if Monroy can respond down the end of the straight here. He's going to take a look.
Yeah, as you watch that, Ian Jolicoeur made a mistake, threw it off track quickly, then back on.
Oh, Moore, a little too hot. Ooh, nice recovery. I think there was a little contact there between Monroy and Uren. Meanwhile, Moses seeing all this from 7th. He's like, keep fighting, guys. I'll take those spots. That battle now between Preto, Matt Taylor, and Rodrigo Triana. Rodrigo must have... Well, no, he's been there, so sorry. But they have really closed the gap up on Preto. John Houston quietly lurking there in 11th. So he's gapped Cuppet a little bit there, so giving himself a bit of breathing room.
Now, Gregory Myers has come in. I don't know necessarily that he took some type of treaded tire, but I'm going to start to view his times here and see where those times fall in relative to the guys around him.
Montgomery has taken it off. Parsons now into the points. He's right behind Mike Trussler. Trussler really struggling for some grip. Houston takes it off at Ascari, while Triana and Mac Taylor. Triana on the outside of Taylor here, heading into Parabolica. This doesn't have the legs. Now Triana looking on the inside. Some very tense racing here.
It is, but I actually am kind of glad to see these guys are not diving into the pits and really perhaps costing themselves a lot of positions. They're letting the weather conditions kind of dictate their strategy here, and it's good to see. I think a couple seasons past, there's quite a few of these guys that would have dove in early.
So Moses has just made the pass on your Ren for 6th. So nice job by Chris. He's got Monroy in his sights, so Moses continues his charge after some earlier problems.
Yeah, and his times have stayed pretty static relative to the leader, Alex White.
The gap between Jolicoeur and White is 4 seconds.
Mike Monahan into the pits, Al, from 20th. Boy, pit stops are coming up. I can guarantee you all of these guys are trying to hang out as long as they can to see what the weather conditions are going to do. So the decision's made even tougher if it continues to stay just damp.
Yeah, working lap 14. We're about 25 minutes into this race. Nope, sounds like somebody's off. Oh yeah, one of the vets. Let's see what White elects to do here. Is he going to stay out? He does. Track remains damp.
This weather may have come at a very good time for Alex White. Ian Jolicoeur started to have some pace on Alex White. I don't think there's any question. Ian a little faster there in the dry. This weather, I think, has helped out Alex White.
So Brad, if you were in this situation, what would you be? What are you thinking right now? Do you stay out as long as you can go?
Well, it really comes down to track conditions on track these guys are feeling. It looks like there's enough grip out there where it would be very difficult to switch off of the inters, particularly with the temperature rising. I think at this point, if you pit, you got to be on the slicks.
Matt Taylor into the pits.
Yeah, and in fact, these guys, of course, are likely getting very good tire wear. It's not like they're rubbing off a lot of rubber here on the dry circuit. So, no doubt this will allow a lot of guys that might not otherwise have been able to double stint to be able to do just that.
Chris Moses has made the pass on Monroy, and Marty Uren has also gotten past Monroy for 6th.
Yeah, Alex White at the front continuing to open up that margin just ever so slightly. In Jolicoeur now back to the tune of 6 seconds.
Boy, with the big mistake that exiting Ascari, that's going to give Moses the position for 4th.
Well, I think if you're Chris Moses at this point, you've been gifted some nice positions, but you got to be really careful. You don't want to start pushing the car just a tiny bit over the limit. So got to still be very cautious here if you're Chris Moses. Ian Jolicoeur into the pits from 2nd.
Wow. A little surprised by that, Brad. Track remains damp.
Yeah, track temperature just went down 1 degree. Yeah, if I'm out there, I run the thing dry. I can tell you that right now.
Jaime Moore has taken it off. His teammate has gotten past.
Ian Jolicoeur has gone up on the jacks, Al.
It looks like Ian is going to jump on those inters. So we're going to have to
very well.
You're going to have to take a look at his lap times, Brad. See how he compares to the rest of the field. John Houston now moved up to 9th. Poole. Wilkerson now in 11th. Parsons now up to 12th with Trussell behind him. Caldani now running in the points. So it looks like Tuppett may have pitted. Joe LaCour rejoins in 17th. Cuppet is in the pits. He's away.
Looks like it is Chris Moses has made a mistake going into the second chicane, Al. So I think he did overpush that Audi just a little bit.
Alex White in.
Boy, still a big decision for these guys, but I suspect you got to go on the slicks. Perhaps you go ahead and slap on the softs, but
Triana's going to stay out, take over the lead here.
Alex on the jacks. So if Felipe Triana can divine that by where he comes out of the pits and possibly take a chance on a double stint himself, oh, this is interesting stuff.
Yeah,
of course, it could be that these guys were suffering some wear.
Yeah, I'd have to say, Brad, I mean, if it was me, as Felipe Triana has made a mistake. I mean, I try and stretch it out as long as I can, but at this point it looks like it's just way too wet, and that decision's got to be made. As you can actually see the reflection now on the track, it is very, very wet.
Yeah, it looks like most guys are electing to go ahead and take tires.
Moses in, Wilkerson, Houston, Poole, Caldani, all in the pits.
Boy, still just damp with a bit of track temperature out there, though. It's, I don't know. For me, I might still be on the fence, depending on those track conditions if I were out there.
So if Triana struggling, this is going to have Marty with an attempt for the lead here. Going into Parabolica. Careful, fellas. Marty with a bit of a slide. It's going to be tough if they can keep it off one another. Oh, little contact. He's had enough. He's bringing it in. Marty's bringing it in too. Wow. Oh, Monroy right there as well. So Preto's going to take over the lead here. Preto's staying out.
You know, and for the guys that were a little further back, they can take some chances here if they want to try to decide to... Oh, the track just went wet, Al.
That was the exact moment where Preto, he could be the big loser here.
Well, now, you know, we have a lot of guys on the intermediate tires. Is the track going to continue to receive moisture? That's going to be a big disadvantage for the guys on those inters.
Well, let's see. The beneficiaries here could be Uren. As Joe LaCour has jumped White in the pit lane. So Joe LaCour is the actual leader of this race.
I didn't expect that.
Wow, I did not either. So great stop from Joe LaCour. Unless White had made a mistake out there somewhere, Joe LaCour is the virtual leader of this race.
Well, Ian had come in right before the track went to wet. I'll have to check his pit stop time here. I hope he didn't elect to stay on those tires.
Well, I thought you said he's looking quite quick out there. I think you mentioned he was up on the jacks.
That's right. Yeah.
Some lap traffic ahead of these two. Combo with White.
Right, we did see White have that slightly better rain pace than Ian Joe LaCour. Interesting stuff. I'm really interested to see what Aaron Parsons may do. Now, he came in right when that session went over to wet. And he may have elected to take some full treaded tires. I know that most of these guys are not.
Jolicoeur dealing with some lap traffic up ahead. And this is going to be
Prieto into the pits.
Prieto in. See if Jolicoeur is with a bit of a run. Alright, so they get by that as Jolicoeur has taken over the lead from White.
Yeah, and teammate Marty Wren actually has picked up some positions as
Yeah,
well.
up to third. So those two, whatever strategy they're on, it's working.
All right, I tell you what.
Moses now in fourth. So Moses has pitted. And he has jumped up to fourth. He's jumped Monroy and Triana. Matt Taylor now in seventh. He's pitted, so he's had a good stop. Prieto back to eighth. Poole ninth. Cup at 10th. What? So Parsons now running in 14th. Chandler's in. Myers and Halili now running in the points. Halili having a look on the inside. Myers going to defend the downstairs. Nice pass by Krushnik for 15th. Very nicely done.
Yeah, car should be a pretty good performer in these conditions as well, though. Of course, you wouldn't expect it to be such a great performer in the dry. It looks like Alex White will get a run on Ian Jolicoeur going into Parabolica. In fact, will make the pass for the lead.
See if Ian can respond here down the straight. Got a pretty good toe on him. I think Ian's going to have a look. He's got to have a look. Whoa! He hangs on to it.
Yeah, that Aston does look pretty comfortable here in these conditions, Al.
Yeah, I hate to say it for Ian, but I think that was his only shot.
Well, still a few opportunities to make a mistake, and in these conditions, it wouldn't be out of the question.
So track remains wet. Wren now in third, because Moses only a few seconds back for that final podium position. So something tells me Moses will have a crack at it by the end of the night, barring any mistakes.
Yeah, it looks like his rain pace is off a bit now from the leaders, but I tell you, it's quite a team battle starting to brew here between some of our top contenders. Alex White and Matt Taylor now is in seventh there, that axis of awesome, looking to reclaim some points, but Ian Jolicoeur and of course...
Oh, big mistake from White, nearly loses the car.
Uh-huh.
Got a bit of that gravel exiting Ascari. Sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
Well, Ian Jolicoeur, or rather Alex White, is going to be pretty determined here to try to get a gap on Ian Jolicoeur if he can quickly and try to just maintain it. So I think Alex is looking to push just a little bit here.
Yeah, you mentioned that team championship battle. We talked to Kung Fu Racing before tonight, and at the moment they are continuing to put up some good numbers here. Should
yeah, running second and third.
So White behind John Houston. Great battle here for the lead. Jolicoeur starting to drop. Ooh, White a little ugly through that chicane. That's going to give Joe LaCour an opportunity here to close the gap. On board with Ian.
Really important for Ian to get off some of these corners leading onto the long straights as close as he can. Maintain that draft. As you watch that battle, I'll tell you that the other battle is on between, Matt Taylor and Juan Monroy, for 6th. Felipe Triana. I'll get it right.
Tell you what, John Houston right on the tail of these guys. He might have pace on both of them. Again, unable to take advantage of that couple little mistakes from White. Gap starting to stretch out a little bit more.
I think that Aston is certainly showing much better front end grip than the Mercedes at this point.
Alright, looking further back now. Chris Moses has caught up to the back of Marty Uren for that 3rd position. Oh, looks like, wow, he really closed up quickly. Not sure if Marty had made a mistake. Ooh, big side job from Marty there going into turn 1.
Yeah, and as you watch that, Dan Wilkerson does hold down the top 10 position, but Aaron Parsons is putting a lot of heat on him for that 10th position.
Got a lapped vet there of TFS. Moses nearly gets into the back of Marty. What a save in the wet. Yeah, it'd just be nice to see that vet just lay off the throttle a little bit there. Just let those two guys by. Looking further back. Ooh, Monroy with a big mistake. Triana gets into the back of him. Matt Taylor now looking to take advantage, so we got battles all around here. We got Monroy, Triana, and Taylor. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, and Matt Taylor has continued to close up on that battle between Triana and Monroy to make it that 3-way fight for 6th, 5th.
Yeah, Monroy made a mistake there. Not much Felipe could do. Had nowhere to go, but it looks like Taylor is going to have a shot at 6 right here. Joe Ascari, nope. Triana's going to hang on to it. There'll be another opportunity coming up.
Yeah, and another battle now taking shape. David Poole and Andres Prieto fighting tooth and nail. In fact, David Poole's going to have a look on the outside of Parabolica and is going to get the pass done for 8th place.
Nice job by Poole. We just caught that as now we're back on board with Taylor.
Yeah, those guys.
Ooh, look at that Audi. Stepping out sideways through Curva Grande.
Yeah, the Aston obviously working very well here in the wet. Their setup obviously favors it.
Oh, big mistake from Triana. Oh. Poole's going to take advantage.
That's the David Poole we're used to seeing.
Yep. So, not what Triana wants here at Monza. Aero damage. Your worst nightmare.
Go ahead, it really is.
So So that's going to affect his straight line speed a bit. As you see, the left front of that Audi really deformed. Now Prato closing the gap on Triana. Wow, the wheels have fallen off these cars. Well, some literally, but for some of these drivers, these conditions have really caught them off a bit. I think for the most part, everybody's doing a pretty damn good job. It's just a lot of these guys on throttle on exit of some of these corners. Ooh, wow, what a slide from Triana in the save. But these guys are giving it a little too much throttle there, exiting some of these corners, getting themselves out of shape.
Absolutely, and small mistakes are very easy to make around here, as mentioned, in the dry, let alone the wet. So no surprise there by that. Ian Jolicoeur, in fact, had picked up some ground on Alex White, but then gave it quickly back on a small mistake of his own. So just tenths of a second here can be a big deal.
So Jaime Moore a lap down. I'm not quite sure what happened to Jaime. So Moses had closed up the gap on Uren, but has not, ever since that mistake, hasn't been able to close it back up. Take a look at Jolicoeur and White. Go ahead.
Weather conditions holding absolutely static right now. It's been 86 degrees on track and wet since we've had our pit stops.
Working lap 24. So just a handful of laps yet to go here at Monza. So Jolicoeur falling back from White to the tune of about 3 seconds.
Shows up on timing and scoring actually a little closer than that, just about a second and a half.
Oops. Timing was wrong.
That happened. Boy, Chris Moses suddenly gained quite a bit of ground on Marty Urin. Chris Moses is right there as well now, too. David Poole looks like he has just gotten passed by Matt Taylor.
Yeah. So Taylor may have made a mistake. Yeah, I was just going to say, he's been looking a bit out of sorts going into turn one. That's a couple times now we've seen him go in late, make a bit of a mistake.
It's so common. He had really found a good rhythm. The track in the wet was gaining a lot of ground. It's so easy at that point to just push a little tiny bit over the limit. I think that is what has happened.
And David Poole
Matt Taylor
doing everything he can to try and get around Matt. Having a look on the inside of the entrance to Lesbos. That's a tough corner to make get a pass done. What happened?
Chris Moses had made a pass on Marty Urin, made a mistake. Now Marty Urin's coming back as they come off the Ascari chicane.
Ooh, Chris, take it. Oh, there was a Porsche facing the wrong direction. I thought he locked onto it.
Chris he's giving it everything he's got, that's for sure. Don't know if it's going to be enough, but he's trying. So Chris had made that pass or made a mistake. He showed up on third there on timing and scoring for a second. I flipped to him. He was off in the gravel. And I don't know if you caught it, but David Poole has gotten back past Matt Taylor now for 6th.
Oh, Matt Taylor now looking to answer. Took a look on the inside, but isn't going to get it done. So Nice job by David with the weight here tonight in the wet. And he's not far off Monroy for 5th.
No, and Andrew Warner, or Andres Preto and Aaron Parsons have joined that battle now.
What a comeback for Parsons after falling to the back of the field. Has worked his way up to the top 10, up to 9th.
And it is Chris Moses now who's fighting for the lead once again, going into the Ascari chicane. And he is going to make the pass stick.
Corner's not over yet. He gets it done.
Yeah, Chris obviously getting through the Lesmos very well. That was where he had his look last lap.
A couple laps left to go here. So it took a handful, quite a few laps, but Moses finally gets the job done on Marty for 3rd.
He does, and David Poole now looking to make a move on Juan Monroy, headed into Parabolica.
David Poole on a charge. Ooh, a little up and under move. Oh, he's going to get it done. Wow, right out of my playbook. Nice job by Poole.
Yeah, the Gumpert feeling very happy here in the wet relative to the guys around him.
Wow, he really set up Monroy nicely there. Monroy's going to try and answer. Poole defending the inside. It's going to be tough for Monroy to get this pass done around on the outside. I think Poole's going to hang on to it. He's got it. Great job by David.
Yeah, good job by both guys there. Juan Monroy really couldn't force the issue without possibly coming to a bad end for both of them. So nicely judged.
Parsons now has gotten past Preto for 8th. Wilkerson now in the top 10. Caldani up to 11th. Cup at 12th. Triana has fallen back to 13th after what it was such a great start for him. Myers 14th. Mike Trusser running 15th. And Kreshna Khalili, the last car in the points. And Rodrigo Triana has DNF'd.
Yeah, Rodrigo Triana out, and real quickly, Matt Taylor has made a mistake, so Matt Taylor has slipped back to 9th place.
Oh, that's going to put a shuffle there into the team championship, as now him and Preto are going to challenge one another into Ascari. Oh, someone's off. That's one of the Porsches.
Yeah, and as you watch that, it's Ian Jolicoeur still trying to stay alive for this win, now 1 second off of Alex White.
Look at time and working lap 27. 2 to go. Oh, White nearly takes it off into the gravel.
Oh.
What happened, Brad?
Oh, Ian Jolicoeur just had a huge slide coming out of Lesmo, too. Really important here for Ian to get within a second of Alex White. That's where he's going to get benefit from the draft.
Got some lap traffic up ahead.
Marty Uren and Chris Moses coming to blows once again. Marty Uren repasses Chris Moses through Lesmo 2.
Had to have been a mistake.
Aaron Parsons right on Juan Monroy's bumper as well as they come through Parabolica. Mike Monahan in for a late pit stop.
Parsons looks like he's going to have a run on Monroy for 6th. You know what? Say what you will about this track. Some people love it, some people hate it. As Monroy takes it a bit wide and Parsons gets it done. but it always leads to some tremendous racing, Brad.
Well, for such a long track, of course, the gaps can remain pretty constant due to the draft. They do always tend to run close, and good action once again tonight.
On board with Joe LaCour now. He's trying to hang on to the back of White here for this win.
Yeah, is this going to be the last lap, or are they going to get one more in?
I hope they go one more, Brad. I want to see another one.
Yeah, hell, let's give them another 10 or 15.
Ooh. Oh, I think Ian might have made a mistake. He did. Oh.
Oh!
Ian now.
It's Chris Moses back by Marty Uren again at Lesmo too.
Man, I apologize to those guys, to everybody. There's so much going on here. So White hangs on to take the win here at Monza. It's going to be Joe LaCour with a hard-fought second place. Chris Moses, is he going to hang on to it here? David Poole and Parsons. Parsons trying to get fifth from Poole. With the lap car in the middle. Ooh, boy. Nope, not going to happen. It's bad timing. Chris Moses takes third. Uren fourth. David Poole will be sending thank you cards to Team TFS. You gotta hand it to Parsons on it. What a great comeback.
David Poole as well, really.
Poole fifth, yes, you're right. Parsons sixth. Monroy's gonna take seventh. Prado eighth. Taylor ninth. Wilkerson with the top 10. Caldani with another strong run. He finished 11th. Cup at 12th. Greg Myers and Trussler duking it out here for the final, for that 13th position. It looks like Myers is going to hang on to it. He does. And Halili, he's going to finish 15th. And I think that's your last car on the lead lap. It is. So Halili in the points here tonight. Alex White, do you copy?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, congratulations. It's Al here and Brad in the booth. Congratulations on a great win. Really had a strong start there, with starting alongside Moses. Joe LaCour took advantage of a mistake by Moses early. Really pressured you most of the race here, and then once the conditions went to wet, Joe LaCour with a great stop jumped on the pits. You had to battle with him to get past, and really never let you go. You know, he hung on there right to the end.
Yeah, I really had to work for that one. Start was pretty good. Chris was behind me, and I was doing my best to try and pull away. Wasn't really letting me. Then when the rain came down, the plan was to stay out and just pit on the lap we had planned, because it was only slightly damp and it was getting gradually wet. But then when I think it was Mike Monaghan came out of the pits and had pace on me, it's like, I have to pit right now. So I slightly overfilled the car, then came out just in front of Ian, and we had an excellent sort of 4-car battle with some back markers coming out of Ascari, and he got ahead of me. Then did my best to get back ahead of him, and then kept it on track as best as I could. It was really difficult.
Well, It was a very nice battle up there at the front. It was a good win for you. Now it did look like perhaps Ian had a little bit of pace there in the dry toward the end of that stint. So it looked like maybe the weather had helped you out just a little bit and gave you the edge you needed to hang on.
Probably he did, quite honestly. As much as I don't want to admit that, he definitely did. I was pushing as hard as the car could. If we had double stinted the slicks, then there's no way I'd have been able to hold him off, because he was probably getting much better tyre wear than me.
Well, speaking of tires, what was the decision on tires in when you pitted? Did you go on inters or did you go ahead? I believe it was damp when you went in, so did you go on wets or?
I went on soft wets. It was a decision made on the spot. I thought it would just get completely wet, and it did. Well, it went to wet, not aquaplaning. But wet tyres the soft wets are still slightly better than hard wets even in those conditions, so it was a case of, yeah, just deal with the heat. Be a bit smoother on the accelerator, be a bit smoother with the steering, and you're fine.
Well, certainly was a great decision you made there in the pit stops, and congratulations, Alex, on a great win and picking up some valuable points. Although, as it did have his problems, he battled back to finish sixth, so he had a good run himself. So it's going to be interesting to see how you guys shape up here as we head past the halfway point.
Yeah, I saw as I dropped down the order, and it was like, oh no. But Matt Taylor finished quite well tonight as well. I don't know where John Houston finished, but I think, just working it out in my head, that Matt and I have the team championship lead back, which is nice.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be tight down the stretch here, but congratulations again, and we'll see you in a couple weeks at Sepang.
Thank you. Look forward to watching the broadcast again.
Thanks. All right, Brad. Well, there you have it. Really was a highly entertaining race. I gotta admit, Monza for me always does it. I don't know what it is, but it's always great to race in, always great to broadcast, and really happy to see the close racing we saw tonight.
Well, certainly a well-deserved win by Alex White. He did have to earn that one fair and square, and he most certainly did. I think for Chris Moses, it was a case of what could have been, and I think for a few other guys, it was a case of happy to escape with the positions where they finished. David Poole and Aaron Parsons, of course, we mentioned that. But overall, a great race, some good action. I think guys did a pretty darn good job, as mentioned earlier, of keeping the darn thing on track and driving within their limits. So fun event to watch, Al. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you mentioned Chris. Yeah, it's definitely opportunity lost for him and a few other guys, but they'll be able to go back at it again in a couple weeks, as we have a break next week for the holiday, 4th of July here in the U.S., so the holiday week. So we'll be off next week, and we'll be back on July 7th for GT2 Round 6 from Sepang. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that. This Thursday will be GT1 live from Zolder with Ken Rodriguez and Jack Ivey broadcasting that race. So hopefully you guys can tune in for that race. It should be a lot of fun. So Brad, thank you again, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.